everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is more of a personal one. I'm going to talk to you about my experience with suffering from an autoimmune disease. So I have a thing called Graves' disease, which means that I have hyperthyroidism, and it affects everything. It affects my everyday life every day. So I've always kind of struggled with my weight ever since I was young. It would fluctuate greatly. I just thought it was, I was growing up and, going through puberty, or I was eating too much. I don't really know. I'm a professional dancer, so I've always danced my whole life. I've always been really fit and healthy, and I have really watched what I eat, but just sometimes for no apparent reason, I would just get really fat and bloated. That's a horrible thing to say, but that is what would happen to me. When I was actually about 18, I started to suffer from terrible panic attacks and anxiety. I couldn't go to dance class. I would just have panic attacks. I just felt awful. The doctors put me on antidepressants. I don't even like to take Panadol when I have a headache, so getting given them, I was like, whoa, I don't want to take them. I stopped taking them and I kind of got better. Like I didn't really need them anymore. But I would still have waves where I would, put on weight. I would feel tired all the time. As a teenager, a normal night's sleep for me, usually on the weekends, would be 16 hours. That's just so excessive. And again, I just put it down to being really athletic and dancing all the time. Then I got a contract in Singapore in 2011, and I went over there and I was performing in like a big circus stage show, and it was the best time of my life. Everything was going great, and then I stopped sleeping. I could not sleep. I would get maybe 1, maybe 2 hours sleep a night, and it was really hard. I didn't know what was going on. Then I started to put on weight, and I got really fat, and I fluctuated from, I think I went over there and I was about 53 kilos, and I got up to 60 kilos. And the weight did drop off a little bit towards the end of my contract, but I look back at photos now and I do not look like me. My hair fell out. Like, I literally was bald. I had to have hair extensions because my hair just fell out. And at the time though, which is really strange, I didn't really know what was going on because I just moved to a new country. I was performing like crazy every day. I was working out 2 or 3 times a day to try and keep the weight off. I was just, oh my gosh, I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping. It was really hard, but I was living my dream, so I was having an amazing time. And weird things started to happen to me as well. Like, my body became really infectious. Is that a word? I don't know. But I started to get really weird infections. Like, I got weird, this is disgusting, but like weird cysts on my back from bug bites. Doing point in the show, my toenails fell off, which is normal as a dancer. I mean, that happens all the time. But this time it just wasn't right. Like, it was so infected, and horror story. You don't want to know about this. But what I'm trying to say is my body was super infected and I didn't know why. Then I left my contract and I went home and everything was kind of fine. And then I was starting to feel fit again. My hair was starting to grow back. Everything was good. I was working out more. And then just suddenly, everything became harder. I couldn't lift the weights that I would normally lift anymore. I started shaking like crazy. I was itchy all the time. My eyes were like popping out of my head. My face was constantly puffy, and then I thought I had an allergic reaction to something. So I'm thinking, what am I allergic to? This has also happened to me throughout my life. I just thought I was allergic to tomatoes and any kind of like MSG or something. So I went to the doctor and they were like, just take some Clarentine, you have allergies. Okay, fine. So I started doing that. Then this was around Christmas time, 2013. So only what's it, 2015 now, like 2 years ago or something. And so it was Christmas time, and I started to realize that I was losing a lot of weight. Like, my normal weight is about 55 kilos, and every day I would hop on the scale and I was just dropping and dropping, but I was eating so much food. Oh my gosh. I would eat 2 breakfasts, snacks, 2 lunches, snacks, 2 dinners, and then a full pizza for dinner every night, and I was still starving. Plus, on top of that, I was drinking so much water and eating a box of ice blocks a day. I was so hungry, which obviously I'm like, wait, something's not right. We went to the doctors and my eyes were protruding, like popping out of my head. I couldn't walk downstairs. I was just so sick. We went to the doctors and they were like, you have an autoimmune disease, you have hyperthyroidism. And I was thinking, what is that? I have no idea what's going on. Turns out I have Graves' disease, and it was Christmas. All the surgeries were closed. I couldn't get my blood test or anything for, I think it was 4 days until they opened. Well, they sent me home and they said, if there's any changes, go to the emergency room. I was at home and I was just lying in bed, like I couldn't walk. My mum had to feed me, help me drink everything. Then I walked maybe 30 meters and I just looked at my mum and said, I have to go home. I feel like I'm going to collapse. We went home and you could see my heart popping out of my chest. Like it was beating so fast that you could see it. It was crazy. So they rushed me to the hospital and I wasn't having a heart attack, but I was about to have a heart attack, which at my age, I was 26 when that was all happening, 27? I'm 28 now, so I think I would have been 26, I don't know. But anyway, I'm so young and I'm like fit and healthy, so that was not something that should be happening. They put me on the same amount of heart medication as my 70-year-old grandfather. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This is just awful. Then I got given all my medication and started having to get monthly blood tests for about 2 years. This was going on. I saw a specialist and they put me on medication, and it took me ages. I couldn't function anymore. I lost lots of relationships. People thought that there was something wrong with me, that I wasn't interested in my work. I wasn't interested in seeing my friends, and that wasn't it at all. Life was so hard. I would go to work, go home, sleep. On the weekends, I would just sleep. I would rest. My body ached. I couldn't do anything. It was awful. I tried dancing again and I would just fall to the ground and collapse and start shaking. Even though the doctor said that I was fine and that I could go back to my normal everyday life, I couldn't. I don't think they realized the amount of physical activity I actually did. This was heartbreaking. I mean, I couldn't perform anymore. I would cry all the time to my husband, Vadim, like, I just want to perform. It was so hard. I missed dancing. I missed everything. And my body hated me. I didn't know what to do. I just felt so alone. I didn't know anyone else that was going through this, and it was just really hard. I recently got off my medication, so I think that was a month ago, and everything was going pretty good. Things are still hard. I still can't do like a full day's worth of activities. I just get so exhausted. I'm starting to notice now that some of my symptoms are coming back now that I'm not on the medication. So if I have a big day, I need to have a sleep. I'm back to having my naps every day, and that's just something that I have to come to terms with. I exercise. I'm starting to perform again, which is amazing, but I still can't really do cardio because I just get so shaky and my heart just thumps so hard. I'm really trying to change my diet. I'm vegetarian and I'm gluten-free, but I mean, this is still my journey. I asked the doctor, does this mean that I don't have Graves' disease anymore? And they said, no, this is a lifelong thing, but I am determined for it not to be. I am not going to let this affect my life for the rest of my life, because I think that I can heal myself. I know that I can do it. And the doctors already said that from how sick I was until the time that I got to go off my medication, my recovery was the fastest that my specialist had ever seen, which was really promising. So I'm going to do it. So the reason why I made this video today is because I would just love to reach out to anyone else that is suffering from autoimmune diseases. I understand that sometimes you can feel really alone and confused and helpless. So I would just love it that if you are suffering from an autoimmune disease or something, I would love to talk to you. So please leave a comment below and let's get a community and a conversation started and help each other with our tips and tricks for what's helping us get through these horrible diseases. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this has helped someone and that you found it interesting and helpful to hear my story, and love to you all. Bye, have a lovely day.